If you peek under the hood of pretty much any major company today, you're going to find these massive, complex systems like SAP. Think of it as the central nervous system for their entire business. It runs everything. And right now, a huge shift is happening in how companies manage this core tech. They're moving to the cloud, but probably not in the way you're thinking.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off with the big why. Why are companies even doing this? Then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll meet the key players, the so-called hyperscalers, and the expert guides who help navigate this maze. And finally, we'll zoom back out to see where this whole thing is headed.
So let's just get right into it. Why would any sane company choose to make their most critical systems more complex? Well, as you're about to see, it's all about a relentless search for the perfect fit.
And that's a totally fair question, right? I mean, it seems so much easier to just pick one provider and go all in. But here's the thing. In the world of high-stakes enterprise systems, simple doesn't always mean best. The truth is, different clouds are really good at different things. One might be an absolute beast for data analytics, while another offers rock-solid security for your finances.
And that brings us to the core idea here, the multi-cloud strategy. It's all about using multiple cloud services together in one single system. And I absolutely love this analogy. When you build a house, you don't hire a plumber to do the wiring, right? No. You hire the best specialist for each part of the job. Multi-cloud is just applying that same exact logic to a company's tech.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The ultimate goal here isn't just to be on the cloud. It's about creating a perfectly optimized environment where every single piece of your system is running on the platform that's best suited for that specific task, whether that's for speed, cost, or some unique feature.
But, and this is a big but, this strategy is no magic bullet. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. As we're going to see now, it introduces this really critical strategic trade-off. You're balancing some incredible opportunities against some pretty significant new challenges.
And it really is a balancing act. On one side, you've got amazing flexibility, you're not locked into one vendor, and you get to pick and choose the best new tech from everyone. Awesome, right? But on the other side, you're dealing with some major headaches. Suddenly, everything is way more complex to manage. You've got security worries across multiple platforms, and you have to make sure costs don't just spiral out of control.
So, who are these providers we keep talking about? In the industry, they have a cool name, the hyperscalers. The best way to think of them is as the giant global utility companies of the internet, and each one has its own special flavor when it comes to hosting something as demanding as SAP.
First up, you've got Microsoft Azure. Now, given their long history in enterprise software, it's really no surprise that they try to be a one-stop shop, offering this really complete set of services that are tailor-made for SAP.
Then there's Amazon Web Services, or AWS. They were the pioneers here, the ones who kind of started it all. So their big selling point is a super robust, mature platform that has been battle-tested for years running these huge SAP systems.
Google Cloud, or GCP, they take a bit of a different approach. Their focus is on an architecture built entirely on virtual machines. The big idea there is that it makes it easier to move your stuff over in the first place, and it keeps things more agile day to day.
And of course, you have to mention Alibaba Cloud. They're a dominant force, especially in Asia, and their big focus is often on helping huge companies streamline their entire IT setup to really speed up their move into the digital world. Okay, so trying to pick and choose between those giants, weigh all the pros and cons, and then actually build something that works. Well, to put it mildly, it's insanely complex. And this is where a very specific kind of expert becomes absolutely 100% essential: the SAP consultant.
I think this quote from our source material just nails it. It says a consultant needs deep technical understanding and awareness of the latest developments. In other words, it's not enough to be a tech genius. You have to understand the client's actual business, and you have to live on the bleeding edge of a tech landscape that changes practically every week.
And their job is so much more than just the initial setup. They've got a whole strategic playbook. First, they assess what the company actually needs. Then, they solve the crazy puzzle of integrating everything. After that, they lock down security and compliance. And this part is key. They are always optimizing the system to keep costs down and performance up.
And hey, if you want a little taste of the technical weeds these folks live in, just look at this diagram. What you're seeing are just a couple of the many ways you can set up SAP's front-end systems and connect them to all the back-end stuff. Now, don't worry about understanding every box and line. The point is, making all of this work together seamlessly
That's the consultant's everyday reality.
And another huge part of their job isn't technical at all. It's negotiation. They're the ones who help clients get the best deals because they know the requirements inside and out. They create leverage, and they pay super close attention to the fine print. Things like service agreements and those really sneaky auto-renewal clauses.
Okay, so we've looked at the why, the what, and the how. Let's pull our focus back out again and take a peek over the horizon. What's next for this whole multi-cloud world? Well, it looks like 5 big trends are really taking shape. First, way better integration. Tools that will finally make these clouds talk to each other without a fuss. We're going to see a lot more AI and automation managing things behind the scenes. Security is going to get a lot smarter. We'll even see tools to measure the environmental impact of all this. And finally, edge computing is going to bring the processing power closer to where the action is, like out on a factory floor.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? In a world that's changing this fast, the single most crucial strategic advantage isn't about picking the perfect cloud today. It's other building the ability, as a company, to stay informed and be ready to adapt to whatever comes next.
And that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As the technology itself becomes almost limitless, infinitely scalable, what's the real thing holding a business back? Is it the tech anymore? Or is it finding the brilliant human minds who actually know how to use it?